We've all told ourselves that lie, you know, when you want to grind ranked in Apex, but you don't have anyone to play with at the moment, and the lie goes a little something like this. I can carry my random teammates and gain RP, how bad could it be? Or my favorite, I'll just play until I find decent people to queue up with. Next thing you know, you've lost 500 RP, dropped a whole rank, lost faith in humanity, and considered uninstalling Apex to go play Farm Simulator. But why is solo queuing so difficult? Are the enemy teams really that much better than you and your teammates? Are you just cursed with the task of always having to carry the worst players in the server? Or are you just used to getting carried by that one friend who's better than you at Apex, but somehow you think you're close in skill level? Now, before I go on to explain what I think is really causing the issue when solo queuing with randoms, let me just complain a little bit. Solo queuing in Apex Legends Ranked may be one of the most single, painful, difficult tasks. Let me know in the comments section which type of player grinds your gears the most. Getting paired with players that break off and go land by themselves are the least offensive group in this discussion. The amount of unjustified egos you will run into once you start getting into the platinum or honestly even gold rank is wild. These people think they're as good as their favorite streamer and genuinely believe that if they had better teammates that they'd get to the top rank of Predator. Yet somehow they never stop to think and ask themselves, why is it that I have no friends to play with? Next, we've got the loot goblins, the people that always land with you instead of breaking off, run up to the bin you've just opened and take everything, and maybe the worst offense these people commit, when you finish a fight and it's time to revive, they're face down looting all the death boxes before they come pick you up. Now, it's one thing to grab an armor swap first to get ready for an unexpected third party, but standing over a death box for 30 seconds while you're flashing your knockdown shield hoping they don't forget about you and revive before you bleed out is infuriating. Next, we've got the players who never talk in game and abuse the ping system. Sure, it's helpful to ping loot and enemies, but these players take it to the next level, pinging every piece of useless loot that if they see an enemy, you better hope there's not another team close to you because you'll never hear those enemy footsteps over the non-stop ping spam. Last on my list, maybe the worst offenders of all in Apex Legends, and this honestly applies to every battle royale game, the people who don't say a word, do 0 damage, get knocked, and then hop on the mic or type in game chat complaining that somehow it's your fault. Public service announcement: if you do 0 damage, give 0 communication, then die and try to blame your other teammates, the battle royale genre isn't for you. Alright, now that I've complained enough, drop a like on the video and let's talk about the 3 main reasons why dropping solo in Apex Legends Ranked can be such a rough experience. Number 1 is minimal or no communication. While some of your teammates might talk in game chat or use the ping system, information is such a critical part of playing the game, especially as you start getting into the higher ranks. Now, Apex has done a very good job of highlighting things like armor breaks and knocks on the kill feed, but it can't communicate those small nuanced pieces of information. Things like catching a player that has been isolated from their team, or that the team you're fighting is just a duo trying to respawn the third. Speed is such an important factor, and the sooner you can understand what type of situation you're walking into, the faster you can act on it. There are so many small advantages to having direct communication with your teammates, and in a competitive environment, if all else is equal, the team with better communication will likely come out on top every time. The second reason why dropping solo in ranked is so challenging is because you lack a cohesive playstyle and game plan for how you will play throughout the match. When you play with a group of people on a consistent basis, you develop a certain playstyle as a team, as well as an understanding of your individual playstyles and roles within the group. This allows you to be much more effective and play in a way that actually requires less communication. Compare that to playing with people who you've never played with before, and the entire match is kind of like speed dating, trying to feel out your random teammates and how they play. Do they like to play aggressive and get kills early? Do they like to rotate to zone early? Do they prioritize kills or placement? And what makes this even harder is you might make assumptions about how your teammates will play that turns out to be completely wrong. What makes this even more frustrating is that once you make those assumptions, you'll start to develop expectations from your random teammates, and oftentimes they will fall well short of them. Now, the last reason why solo queuing feels like going down a water slide made of sandpaper is that you lack an in-game leader or IGL. One of the biggest issues in a game like Apex is having competing visions of how to play the game, or you and your teammates making conflicting decisions. You'll often feel the pain of this when you think your team has a massive advantage in a fight, and you'll full send to capitalize on that advantage, only to find out that one or both of your teammates is just sitting back sniping or healing in a corner. You end up getting knocked, angry and confused as to why they didn't push with you. Or on the flip side, you get a teammate that runs straight into a team for no reason and goes down instantly, leaving you confused as to why they decided to become the sliced turkey in a third-party sandwich. Sometimes you can actually combat this by talking in game chat and trying to slowly call some shots to see if your teammates will respond to you. If you're lucky, you may find a team who's willing to listen. When you have a team of even below average players all on the same page working together and communicating, they can be a very competitive team at high ranks. And this is the purpose of the in-game leader, to call the shots and keep everyone moving towards the same goal. But having an in-game leader also has another benefit that you miss out on when you play with random players. An in-game leader that calls the shots reduces the time between when the team takes action. And the higher rank you get, the more important speed becomes. Just watch any of your favorite pro players and they knock out teams in under 15 seconds or less at times. For example, when your in-game leader notices that your team has a massive advantage in a fight, he could say, "We have a knock, push them now." Or on the other side, he can notice that you're pinched between 3 teams and tell everyone to immediately disengage from the fight and get out. Now, you may realize this without an IGL, but to get everyone on your team to respond the same becomes the issue. Despite all the complaining, Apex truly does have one of the best rank systems in the FPS scene. While some of the seasons have been really bad, cough cough, camp to masters, it seems like they're starting to get the game back on track. If you want to watch another video on first-person shooter games, click here and don't forget to subscribe for more FPS content.